Hi guys, my name is Guerda, Pierre, and welcome to my channel. For those of you who this is the first time you're being here, it's a channel where I teach you guys how to make patterns and sewing and so forth. Today I'm going to show you guys how to make this skirt. It's with a no waistband and it's a semi-circular skirt. Stay tuned. Okay, so this is the skirt that was on the mannequin earlier. So I'm gonna show. I laid down all the way. This is like a quarter scale of a circular skirt. As you can see, this half would have been the other half, and so forth. It's around. The full circular skirt would be all around, but it's only a quarter. Now, as you can see at the bottom here, I made it slightly high and low because the back of my skirts I always like to have it a little bit longer, so this is like an inch longer than the front, so you guys can do that as well, or you can do the same length as the same. So now if I turn it around, see, if I fold it in half, it looks more like an A-line skirt. This would be the center front, and then I would place it like that on the pattern, on the fabric, and then I would definitely cut it. So before, this is it. So now I'm going to show you guys how to make the pattern. First, you're going to need your tape measure, you're going to need pencil, you're going to need your rulers, you're going to need your hip curve ruler, and a straight curve as well, a straight ruler. Always put all your rulers next to you, okay? Okay, so what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to take the measurement of my, let's make believe this is your body. I'm going to take the measurement of my waistline, which is 26 inches. And I'm also going to take the measurement of my hip line, which is 30, well, not mine, the mannequin, 36 inches wide. So you see how the tape measure needs to be across the widest part of your body. So from the waistline, which is the waistline right here, and then this is 37, I would say 36 inches. 36 inches. So you always have to write it down because you don't want to forget. You don't want to forget it. Okay, waistline is 26, and then the hip line is 36. Okay, now the length, I'm also going to take the measurement of the length of the skirt. I'm going to do like a 21 inches length. So it's going to be, and then you actually do the 21. Now I'm going to show you guys to start making the pattern. This is what I did. I cut out a piece of, depending on the length of your skirt. So since my skirt is going to be 21 inches long finished, so I went ahead and cut my paper 25 inches length. That way I have room to maneuver around. And this is the fold of the paper. You see, this is unfold. This part, the folded part, represents the center front or the center back. Okay, so I'm going to, since my paper is folding, I'm going to place 2 pins around it. That way it stays flat. So now what I'm going to do, since my 21, I said I want my skirt to be 21 inches finished. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go from 21, then I'm going to go down, I'm going to mark 21 inches. 21 inches. I'm going to place a mark right here, and then this is, so I have plenty of room at the bottom for my hemline, which is going to be 1/4 of an inch or 3/4 of an inch. Now my waistline was 26 inches. 26 inches divided by 2 is 13. 13 divided by 2 is 6.5. 6.5. So I'm gonna use my measuring tape and I'm gonna go 6.5, which is going to be right here. It's the waistline, so I don't have to add any excess. The only thing I'm going to add is my half an inch seam allowance later on. Okay, so this is going to be from here 6.5. If you want a little bit of room around your waistline, you can add an extra half an inch, not half an inch, a quarter of an inch or an eighth of an inch. But I like my skirt to fit at my waistline. Okay, now this is going to be, I'm going to put W, that stands for, I'll just write down the whole thing, that waist. And then this is going to be the hemline. Actually, what I can do, I can actually draw a line just to give you guys some better guidance. So this is going to be my line, and this is also, I'm going to trace a straight line that represents the beginning and the end. Now what I want to do, I want to be able to, the sweep of the skirt, I'm going to use this same measurement as this one. You see, so that way, let's see, the sweep, which is the width of the hem. See, it's 21 inches long. Well, it's 21 and a half. I would say 21 and a half. So what I'm going to do, using my tape measure, 21 and a half. And I'm going to place them up. Remember, I have not added any seam allowance yet. So this is 21 and a half. That's going to be the width. Okay. Okay, so now bearing, this is what I want you guys to see. Now you see this part, even though the width is on this side, the width of the sweep is facing here, but it's going to be somewhere up here because we're going to give it a curve line, and then we're going to, once we curve it up, then we're going to curve it up also on top. So this is going to be, I'm also going to place the 21 and a half inches, let's see, right somewhere down here. It's about 5 inches, 6 inches below the hemline. Okay. So remember, I went up to 6 inches and I placed the pencil mark, so up to 6 inches. So in that way I can actually start curving the bottom of the skirt. Okay, so this is 21 and a half. So I'm going to start from here, and now I'm going to start from, this is my line. And I'm going to start from, I'm going to use one of the curve ruler, and I'm going to kind of go around and use it. I can use either one. Let's see. And make sure you eyeballing. I think this one is a much better ruler for me to use. See how I'm playing with everything, just kind of making sure everything falls in line. What I'm doing also, just kind of give it some dotted lines. Okay, and see, eyeballing it and see how far I can go. So once I kind of have a little bit of a curve, so I can take this ruler see, now I have a much better curve right now. See? Okay. And I'm going to turn the skirt around and see the shape of it. I'm going to place it this way, that way you guys can see the shape. Now it's not completely finished yet. I'm just playing with it. So now what I'm going to do, So the same way I raised the hemline, I'm on the side, I'm also going to raise the waistline all the way up. So now it's always good to have more so what I'm going to remember, my waistline was 6.5. So let's see, I'm gonna raise it not a full 6 inches, so I'm probably gonna do maybe like half of it, 3 inches. So this is gonna be 3, and then so 6 inch, and then my waistline is 6 inches, 6.5. So this is my 6.5. So I'm gonna use my ruler, my curve ruler. I can use this small curve ruler and actually go from here and actually place it down here and have it flat. You see, slightly curved. Now I have this is my waistline and this is my hemline. So what I need to do right now is to draw this line from that line and do my side. I can give it a little bit of a curve. I don't have to do a straight line. So I can use this ruler and give it a little bit of a curve. Or let's see, if I use a straight ruler, okay, so this is, see, I can do a straight ruler as well. Because remember, you don't have to worry about your hip line, because your hip line is like 8 inches below, so you have plenty of room. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to use slightly curvy, and I love to do dash lines just to give it a better look, and then I can actually connect all the, see this is my skirt, this is it. Now I can actually go back and double check to make sure this is a nice curve line. I'm going to use this ruler. Any curve ruler will do fine. If you don't have the ones that I'm using right now, it's always good. Now remember, the center line, this is 21 inches, and the side seam also needs to be 21 inches, because you don't want, see, I'm gonna have to raise it. You don't want the side to be longer. Go like this, and I'm going to turn this around. This is here. I'm just going to place it around and turn the ruler. Play with the ruler around. That's it. See? Now any lines you don't use, you're just going to get rid of it. Now I'm going to take the skirt and double check. You see, so from here to there, well, this one doesn't have seam allowance yet. Okay, so in other words, if I were to measure my skirt, so the side seam 20.5, and I'm gonna fold it on the right side, because remember the back is shorter. See, 20.5. Center line and side line side seam actually needs to be the same length. So here needs to be the same. This is 21. This is also needs to be 21 inches. And the waistline definitely needs to be curvy. Just like on the skirt. If I show you the skirt, it's a curvy line. If I were to place it like this, you see, it's curvy. Look at the curve. That's so when you put it on, it comes straight, but it curves like this. But when you hang it or you put it on you, it becomes straight at your waistline. See? Okay, so now what I went ahead and measured the whole circumference of the skirt. So my skirt I wanted the finished part to be 21. So I went ahead and added the 1/2 inch seam allowance on top. I was missing a piece of paper, so I went, and it's okay to add a piece of paper with Scotch tape. And then I added 1/2 inch all around, not all around, 1/2 inch on the side seam, and then 3/4 inch for the hemline. In case I want to double fold the hem, I have plenty of room to do that. Or you can just do a 3/4 inch hemline. One of the most important thing also, I went ahead and double check to make sure everything all around 21 inches. You go around, follow. I also went ahead and reshape the curve lines. Take your time and reshape it if you have to. So this is 21. So all around, you just double check to make sure from the waistline to the hemline is 21 inches. This is 21. And then if I wanted to measure from with the seam allowance is 22.5. Everything is 22.5. The side seam also is 22.5. See, from waistline to the hem, 22. So everything needs to be the same length all around. So double check. I'm going to place it like that just to give you guys an idea what it looks like. And I kind of curve the side seam. You don't have to. You can actually use a straight ruler to if you don't want the curve on the side. I like the curve, so that gives me more room, and then it flows much better as well too. So this is the shape, and then I'm just gonna cut it. So what I'm gonna do right now, I'm gonna cut the excess, and to show you, just cut. Always make sure you cut on top of the line. Okay, then away from the line, because if you add anything, you might even add 1/8 of an inch or 1/16 of an inch to the pattern. I can actually put pins, because I don't want to staple it just yet, because I want to be able to open it and see. So now this is it, and you see the curve on the at the waistline. And I'm also going to get rid of this. This is all the excess, and I'm also going, okay, so remove. Okay, so now this is the front of the skirt. I actually I labeled it front skirt, cut 1, self, size 6, and this is the fold line where you're going to place it on the fabric. Now I'm going to do the back of the skirt. Remember, the skirt has the one that I made, the zipper is going to be a side zipper, so I don't have, I can actually cut 4 of this. I'm actually 2 if I have the side zipper. If you want to put a center zipper on the back, what you're going to do, you're going to have to place, I took another piece of paper to do the back, and I'm also going to add, I'm going to do a high and low skirt also. So this is going to be, this is my front, remember that. Then I place a much longer piece of paper. I place, this is the fold line, so I'm not going to place it on the fold line. I'm going to place it away from the fold line, because I'm going to add front center back zipper. If you want to, I'll just trace it, and then I'm going to trace 1/2 inch all the way around, all the way down. So I'm going to use the line all the way down. Now this is going to be, so you see, if I, then I'm going to trace the, waistline, and I'm also going to trace the side. Hold the paper down, just trace it. I'm going to use the ruler to actually give it a much finer line. But now if I want the original skirt that I had, the back was 1 extra inch longer. So from nothing to the side seam, and I'm just gonna do this fast so you guys can see. So all the way to 1/2 inch, to 1 inch. You see, if you take a close look, this is the length of the back. Now if I want to do a much lower and high and low back, so where the front of the skirt is shorter than the back, let me see how much inches I have, space I have. If I want to do like a 7 inches long for the center back, so I'm going to place my 7 inches. Okay, so I can actually go around and do 7, but when I get to this, to the side seam, it's not going to be 7, it's going to be the same. So I'm going to use my ruler and actually have the same width, the same length on the side, and I'm going to eyeball and actually use dash lines just to kind of go around and meet all these lines together. See, now I can actually do a little bit more on the side. Make sure from the waist down, the front and the back are matching up. Now I can add more room around. So you just play with it. See, now I think much better like that. Look, this is what you call, and I can erase this line not to get you guys confused. It all depends on how long you want it. If you want it longer, you can do it longer, but I'm only gonna add 7 inches to the back. So this would be the back, and I can actually use the ruler and do a finer line, and I can always add more if I want to, and just retrace it, and just to make sure. See, you can pivot the ruler just to kind of give you that. Okay, so now this is, remember I added seam allowance on the center back if I want the center zipper. If you don't want a center zipper, a center back zipper, you can actually place it on the fold, and then you still can, you will still be able to do the high and low back. And I'm going to remove the front, and this is the back. This would be the back. You see the shape? So this is the waistline, and this is the bottom of the back. Once again, I'm going to place it, you see, like that, and up you go. This is what you do. This is this is the final part of the skirt. And for the waistline, for the waistline, you're gonna have a facing. You're gonna do a facing. The way you do the facing, I usually do my facing like 3 inches. Doesn't have to be any longer, 3.5 inches. So what you do, you can go to the actual skirt and do 3.5 and count 3.5, 3.5, or it can be 3 inches. I'll do 3.5 right now. And what you do, you take another piece of paper, okay, so I'm gonna just kind of connect all these lines. You're not gonna cut the actual skirt. You can place another piece of paper underneath. Take another piece of paper, place another piece of paper underneath, and then you just trace, you know, to be on this, you trace this line, you trace all around it, you trace the waistline, the side seam, the center back, and so forth. And then this would be, and then you actually use your pencil. This is kind of light, and then you just kind of use, I'm just going to outline it, and then I'm going to use the ruler later on. You see, this would be the the back facing, and you do the same procedure for the front facing. Okay, and with that said, that's about it. And I can actually erase this just not to get confusing in case anybody. And you can use the ruler and reshape it. You do the same thing for the front, 3.5 or 3 inches. You go around, and then you just do a facing. So the facing is going to look like this. You see, it's going to look like that. This is the facing. Okay, I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please, if you have any questions, don't forget to write them below. Don't forget to subscribe and like the video, and I'll see you in the next video.